When Jayson Tatum hit the hardwood, the NBA world didn't just see an injury, it prepared for a funeral in Boston. But instead of a collapse, the league inadvertently unleashed a killer instinct that had been simmering in the shadows for years. Jaylen Brown has spent this season shredding the second option narrative, averaging a career-high 30 points as the undisputed heartbeat of the Celtics. This isn't a temporary hot streak. It's the moment a Stoic Assassin stopped asking for permission and officially seized the throne at TD Garden. As the hierarchy shifts, we're forced to witness what happens when a man once overlooked decides to completely redefine the concept of greatness. The alpha ego and the evolution of a scoring machine.
Just like in the conference finals. JB inside and scoop.
For years, the narrative was set in stone. Jaylen Brown was the wingman, the sharp secondary blade to Jayson Tatum's primary sword. Despite signing that massive $304 million Supermax extension, he was often treated as a B-side character in his own story. Then came the cruelty of fate. Tatum's Achilles went out in Game 4 against the Knicks. In an instant, the Celtics' championship ambitions shifted into survival mode. With the face of the franchise sidelined, the rawest question in sports surfaced: who takes the final shot? To me, that was the exact moment Jaylen Brown stopped waiting for the world's approval to master his own destiny. Entering the 2025-26 season, the wild tunnel vision drives are gone. In their place is the poise of a man who holds the keys to the entire system. Brown has evolved into a proactive shot creator, a player capable of breaking down any defensive shell to manufacture his own rhythm when the team stagnates.
Boston with a loss would be eliminated. Brown with other thoughts.
Look no further than his scorched earth run in December. Brown put together 8 consecutive games of 30-plus points, falling just one step short of the legendary Larry Bird's franchise record. He averaged 32.1 points on a blistering 43.6% from deep. This wasn't just a hot streak, it was calculated dominance that rendered every defensive adjustment obsolete. But what earns my deepest respect is his mastery of the dead zone. While the modern NBA is obsessed with the long ball, Brown chose to dominate the unforgiving mid-range. CBS Sports points out that he's taking 6 mid-range jumpers per game, hitting them at an incredible 52.8% clip. That is the hallmark of an offensive engine, refusing to chase trends and instead perfecting the weapons that terrify opponents. He's orchestrating the flow with veteran precision, knowing exactly when to ignite a fast break and when to anchor the game with a methodical mid-range pull-up. His 42-point explosion against the Knicks was more than a stat line. It was a definitive message that Boston still has a mountain to lean on. The final proof of his new status lies in his 35% usage rate. More than a third of the Celtics' possessions now rest entirely on his decision-making. When a star wields that much power while maintaining elite efficiency, he's no longer a sidekick. Jaylen Brown has officially transitioned from a cog in the machine to the central operating system of the Celtics dynasty. The pressure of silence and the mind of a stoic assassin.
Oh, spin move, Jaylen Brown!
If you only look at the box score, you're missing what truly turned Jaylen Brown into a monster this season: the silence. In an NBA filled with superstars who crave the noise, from fiery trash talk to flashy social media personas, the 2025-2026 version of Brown has emerged as a stoic assassin. There is a cruel paradox at play here. The less he speaks, the more his opponents feel the air being squeezed out of the arena. This silence isn't just a cold personality trait, it's a weapon forged through iron discipline. Since 2018, when the media first noticed his interest in meditation, Brown has stayed the course, utilizing sound frequencies and stoicism as essential mental hygiene. For Brown, the mind is a specific muscle, and he has prioritized training it in a way that separates him from the standard archetypes of high-volume scorers. All that mental preparation seemed destined for this exact crisis, the long-term loss of Jayson Tatum. The Celtics didn't just lose 26 to 28 points per night. They lost the psychological gravity that kept the group balanced. The team was forced to survive under the blinding spotlight focused squarely on Brown, the man carrying a 2024 Finals MVP trophy, a record Supermax deal, and a mountain of Bostonian expectations. Instead of trying to explode or overcompensate, Brown turned inward, becoming simpler yet infinitely more dangerous. I call it binary psychology. Either you execute perfectly or you reset and go again. There is absolutely no room for panic. In the suffocating tension of clutch moments, Brown doesn't get swept up in the opponent's chaos. He pulls the emotional temperature of the game down to his own breathing rate, leaving his rivals with a chilling sense of emptiness because they can't find a single psychological crack to exploit.
They had to take, countless dribbles.
Jaylen Brown with the flush!
This tempered resilience is bolstered by the very darkness Brown was brave enough to go public with, his past battles with severe anxiety and depression. I don't bring this up for therapy, but to make a point. A true leader isn't someone who has never broken, it's someone who turned their cracks into an impenetrable armor. Having navigated the darkest corners of his own soul, the noise of a regular season game can't shake him. That is the true weight of pressure from silence. The Celtics are thriving because their leader is unshakable. The team just follows the script and the points follow naturally. This is leadership without a microphone, leadership through oxygen control and a refusal to let the moment swallow him whole. When you place a Stoic Assassin at the center, you realize why Brown is no longer a plan B. He is the reason Boston's operating system didn't crash when the dynasty seemed on the verge of a total breakdown. The cultural architect and the standard setter.
Throwing in the corner, Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang!
While the first two chapters of this story are about scoring titles and personal grit, this final part is the ultimate test for any leader, the ability to carry people. In the NBA, a leader isn't just the guy who drops 30 every night. He's the one who sets the standard for the locker room, turning discipline into the team's very breath. With Tatum gone, the Celtics were forced to reconstruct their identity. The flashy, overcomplicated plays vanished. Most importantly, no one was allowed to play with the "Tatum will save us" safety net. Brown performed a surgical cleansing of their play style through pure pragmatism. He forced the team to eliminate wasted motion, replacing it with direct, violent decision-making. He didn't just pull them back to the playbook, he reawakened their primal instinct as winners. Brown's influence as a cultural architect is visible on both ends of the floor. Despite losing their primary star, the Celtics have maintained a net rating at the top of the league, anchored by a high-level defensive system. This shatters the lazy stereotype that scorers don't defend. To my eyes, Brown this season is a true two-way eraser, the kind of superstar who can generate a bucket on one end and then immediately demand the toughest defensive assignment on the other. He is restoring the legendary grit of the Green Dynasty, reaching back to the ghosts of Bill Russell and Kevin Garnett. He doesn't need to scream, he just attacks the opponent's best player from the jump, forcing them to feel the claustrophobia of a contested night.
Pritchard running the floor, lob for Jaylen Brown in transition with the left.
This is what makes him a true culture setter. Brown isn't just playing well for himself, he's demanding his teammates play up to a standard. During this period of transition and doubt, Brown's ironclad voice has kept Boston sharper than ever. There were once doubts about his handle or his late-game decision-making, but after that 2024 Finals MVP, Brown earned the default trust of the locker room. When he steps up, the team falls in line. I believe dynasties aren't just built on rings, but on a shared language in the locker room, how you react to failure, and how you grind when your body is spent. Brown isn't just a rescue star, he is the background OS, running quietly but fiercely, guaranteeing a culture of two-way winning in Boston. Jaylen Brown, from Plan B to the ultimate answer.
The spin, Vincent got a piece, Walsh, it goes!
At this point in the 2025-26 season, Jaylen Brown has officially crossed the most important threshold of his career, moving from the companion to the navigator. Averaging nearly 30 points a game, dragging the Celtics through the storm without Tatum, and etching his name into the franchise history books with a historic 30-point streak, all with the coldest of demeanors. If anyone is still calling him a contingency plan, they're looking at Boston through a lens that is hopelessly outdated. The current iteration of Brown doesn't wait for opportunities, he seizes them by the throat and forces the league to acknowledge his authority. But the most fascinating part of this story lies in a looming paradox. Now that Brown has truly become the soul of this team, the Celtics are entering a new era of debate. Is this Apex Brown a temporary phenomenon? Or is the reality that Boston has discovered a more sustainable leadership structure, one where Brown is the central operating system and every other piece, even Jayson Tatum upon his return, must operate according to the Stoic standard he has established? This is a high-stakes puzzle of identity. When Tatum eventually re-enters the lineup, how will Boston redistribute power without shattering the ironclad culture that Brown just forged with blood, sweat, and ruthless silence? In my view, Jaylen Brown didn't replace anyone. He's directly upgrading the entire DNA of the Celtics. He has transformed a team that once relied on superstar inspiration into an organization that operates on uncompromising discipline. If you want more deep dive analysis like this that gets to the heart of the game, make sure to subscribe to the Hoops Ledger. Now the floor is yours. Do you think the 2025-26 Celtics are truly Brown's team now? Or does the throne still belong to Tatum, even if number 0 hasn't touched the court in months? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's debate the new order in Boston.